Stacie NC Grant. Thanks for joining us today on Biz Talks with Jodia Vanel. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Biz Talk is a wonderful way to connect with entrepreneurs and just to have your wonderful infusion of your energy and your spirit and opening up a platform for us to have real conversations. So thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I love all of the things that you're doing. So let's get straight into it. Tell us everything about what Dr. Grant is doing right now.
Well, it's quite a bit, but I'll keep it nice and short. Basically, the joy in my spirit is being able to share my journey as an entrepreneur, because there was a time where I didn't clearly define my market. So just very simply, I am really empowered about the clarity on who I serve, and that's faithpreneurs. And faithpreneurs are faith-based entrepreneurs with a fidelity to God in organizing, managing, operating their businesses, and faith-based professionals looking to add another stream of income to their personal economy. So I'm able to do that by leading, teaching, and inspiring, founding Destiny Designers University. It's an online platform. We call it our Classroom Without Borders, where we graduate to the next best version of who we are by turning inspiration into results, helping equip my faithpreneurs on how to really create and leverage relationships, resources, and revenue in order to create sustainable and profitable legacies. And I get to host and speak as an international author and a trainer, which is wonderful, but it's about connecting and having an annual conference where my ecosystem of faithpreneurs can come together, learn and grow, and to be able to also serve my community in a variety of ways in a volunteer capacity, as well as professionally with my company as the facilitator for the $13 billion JFK Redevelopment project.
Amen. That was a mouthful.
Clearly, I'm Jamaican. I have a lot of jobs.
A lot of jobs, right? You're such a yardie. So, I mean, some of the great things that I heard from you and just thinking about your company, I think it's always really good when there's a purpose behind why you're doing something, and there's no better purpose than God, right? And so I've loved attending some of your conferences because everyone there, they're the sweetest, they're the kindest people. And sometimes that's very different from going to other business conferences because you know that everyone comes from the same space where it's about like their faith, and you can see how that really transition in the way that they act, the things that they do, the things that they say, it really resonates. So I love Faithpreneur.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for attending and supporting. It was so great giving you one of my front row awards, because I truly believe that if we can create a safe place where we can celebrate everyone's gifting, a lot of people shy away from talking about finances and wealth and faith, like the two are separate. And I truly believe that God gives us our gifts and our talents in order for us to share it out in the marketplace and be compensated for it. And I know what it is to be in a position where you want to give, you want to help because that's your heart, but you're helping so much you're broke. Been there, done that. And I'm like, Lord, there's something wrong with that model. We can't say we're the head and not the tail, but we're lacking and we're not growing and we're not being compensated by the very thing that you gave us in order to really share and grow. And yes, there's a process to everything. It doesn't happen overnight, but the beauty is I've literally gone through what it takes to build out as a faithpreneur and stay the course, because it's not always going to be easy. If it was, everybody would do it. Being an entrepreneur, you have to be at least 0.2 parts crazy. I call it cray-cray, because it's much easier.
Parts crazy.
Because the truth of the matter is, it's much easier to get a check that you know is guaranteed. It's coming on the first of the month. It's coming every week. It's coming every 2 weeks. You know pretty much that you can manage by a certain amount of money. But we're living in times where we see a job is not guaranteed forever. We never know what might come up, what might happen. And being an entrepreneur allows you an opportunity to solve problems in the marketplace and get paid for it. And with faithpreneurs, now we're doing with the level up, I don't have to quite follow the prototypes that I see in the world. I can literally look to God and ask him to lead me and direct me. How do I deliver this? With integrity, with honesty, with transparency, and with quality, and get rewarded the same, if not more, than my counterparts who really don't have any place for faith in their life.
Oh my gosh, amen to that. I tell people all the time, I literally have to work for every penny of my own all the time. So listen, you're doing amazing things and continue to do that. You talked a lot about some of the things that you're doing. You're on the $13 billion airport project. You're an author. Let's talk about how are you juggling all of that? What keeps on inspiring you to do so much?
Well, I thank you for that question because it's a great one. My inspiration really comes from understanding that everyone doesn't have the capacity to still work from home, to pivot in the same way. And they need some adjustments that they have to make, and they need some direction on how to do that. And I feel blessed that I'm able to spend time working on the curriculum that we're adding to Destiny Designers University, bringing on additional faculty that have great content and resources that can help everyone position themselves for what life looks like post a global pandemic. Because it won't be here forever. It hasn't come to stay. It has come to pass. But will we be better as a result? Will we learn? Will we grow? Will we learn from some of the mistakes of the past? I call them expensive learning curves, and look at really what matters. And at the end of the day, are we building something that has longevity? Can it be sustained? Can we pass it on to the next generation? Can we really be that good steward of what we have and grow that? So I'm blessed to be able to still operate, to still be able to provide training and development, to still be able to offer resources, to connect people together. One of my superpowers is relationships. I never realized how much that was a superpower, but that my relationship currency is priceless. It's beyond $1 billion to be able to pull people together, to connect them with the resources that they need so they can create revenue. And that it's not about one person winning. For me, it's always about collectively. How can we do it together? If I'm eating, you should be eating too. How do we share what we're doing so that we can all expand? It's a big, wide, global economy. We don't have to narrow ourselves just into one little area that we live and keep our minds closed off to the abundance that God has for us in everything.
Something very key. Relationship is priceless, right? Your relationships can take you in every direction. They always say that it's really not about the amount of work that you're doing, but it's who you know. And I think if you know what you know and you're able to tap into those relationships, it just brings you to a different dimension, right?
Absolutely.
So transitioning now to here, we are now in April, going on May, and we have COVID-19. Can you talk a little bit about if this has impact to your business, or you said that you're lucky enough that you're still working, you're still bringing money to the table. What's been going on since COVID-19 started?
So let me just start with the truth. It's been hard. It's been hard emotionally because I've been affected. I've lost people that I love. I've had family members who have had to fight through COVID. I have people right now on ventilators. So this is real and it's happening in real time. Just today, we had to have a live stream funeral. Never thought that would happen for my husband's aunt. So it's happening in real time, and I have to take stock in emotionally how I am not only dealing with it, but being there to support other people. So that's the level set of this all. We've never seen this. This is unprecedented. I have to really stay in my prayer closet even more just for the strength to refill so that I can pour out, because I pour out a lot. But one of the other things that has happened due to COVID is that live events aren't happening. And I do a lot of live events and interactions, facilitations, speaking, and the pivot has been moving those events online. How do we still accomplish the goals? How do we still give information? And because of my background with online learning and development, it's been a plus for me to be able to just shift and pivot really easily for some of my clients and my partners. For my company that produces Faithpreneur Weekend, we would be having it August 13th through the 15th in a live location. But using wisdom, I had to make a decision and say, we're not going to gather live because we don't know what the state of New York will be come August. And even if things are lifted and we have a semi back to a new normal, people might not feel comfortable gathering in those numbers. So we had to now move our conference to a virtual platform. So we're building that out with our partners and our sponsors. What does that look like? How do we still provide the same high level conference experience virtually, since we are unable to gather in a public place and feel comfortable about doing that? So the pivot has been taking a lot of what I did for my clients, what I do for my own company, and transitioning that into virtual platforms, and really looking at what else is available and out there that I can also share with other business owners so they too can start to think differently about their streams of income. So merchandising, how do you use online platforms to not only increase potential client market share, but to create new products? In every crisis, there's opportunity. And in every crisis, if the entrepreneur is really thinking about how they can grow, you will see, and for faithpreneurs, prey on how you can be the answer and the solution to those problems.
Yeah, it's definitely a time for entrepreneurs to really win. I mean, there's one thing about us, we can, go through the test of times and figure out, how to transition, to pivot and do different things. We're very flexible, especially when, you're earning your own money. You have to be able to be thoughtful and, plan, and execute. So I have no doubt in my mind that your Faithpreneur Weekend will be amazing, because you are amazing and you are a true entrepreneur that is going to implement and execute a fabulous weekend. So Stacie, thank you for sharing that. I really want, and I think you're such an awesome person for this, for sharing with our entrepreneurs, our small businesses, aspiring entrepreneurs out there. What are some key business tips for them that you wish someone would have shared with you?
Absolutely. Be willing to leverage relationships a lot sooner. What I found, and the niche in my faithpreneurs that I really love working with are aspiring or novice entrepreneurs that are just building out, just figuring out how to do it. And a lot of times we get caught up in our ego. I know I did. I was guilty of it. You think that you're the only one that's built the company that you've built. Well, if no one's told you that before, let it be the first time you hear it on Jodia Vanel's Biz Talk. There's nothing new under the sun, right?
Absolutely nothing. I just came off of a conference call. We talked about that. I say steal all the ideas and rebuild them for yourself.
Absolutely. Like there's nothing new. So be okay with understanding that if you can leverage some additional support, you don't have to do it alone. You can collaborate. So for our younger entrepreneurs, our newer entrepreneurs, go in the marketplace and see who's doing something that you can appreciate and collaborate with them. It doesn't mean that you're competing. I don't believe in competition. I believe in collaboration, that you can have 10 bakers in the community, but each one of those 10, they're going to make something that a particular part of the population is going to want. And if you make it in excellence, your audience will come to you. So you don't have to worry about the competition in that way. So for leveraging relationships, start to build out some opportunities for you to work with others who might be a little far advanced than where you are, and you can learn from them. For those that are open to doing that, that's one tip. Leveraging relationships, I wish I did it earlier on in my career. Number 2, get your house in order. What I mean, get your house in order. I don't like paperwork. Let me just be quite frank. Like paperwork makes me like, it's like, oh. But you have to do it in order to make sure that you can prepare yourself for opportunities, like getting certified, becoming an MWBE. It's a process. We've all gone through it. I know it's not what I desire to do, to actually have to go through, pick out the paperwork, put all these things in, get it notarized, signed. But if I didn't do that, if I didn't prepare, I wouldn't be able to be the facilitator on this $13 billion project, because it required you to be MWBE certified. So use this time that it's a little bit of a lull to start doing some of what I call the mundane, like, let me just do this paperwork.
The administrative side of
yes.
That you never want to do, because you're out there trying to make money, trying to make contacts, and then you're always pushing it to the side. But
I'll do it later.
it starts piling up on you.
And it can really pile up. And, it's the administrative piece. It's also the organizational side and just making sure you're building the business the right way. What kind of structure, really having a business attorney give you some advice, talking to an accountant, just getting all of your pieces in order so that when big opportunities come, that you're prepared, that you can take advantage. You don't have to wait. You don't have to hold off because you've done the work. And now is the perfect time to use what is not the normal schedule to get those administrative things done. And then the last thing is something that I share in my book. It's one of my second life lessons. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting started so you have something to perfect. And I want you to remember that. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting started so you have something to perfect. If you don't start, you'll never perfect it. If you keep sitting around telling everybody you have a dream of what you're going to do, or maybe you started with the name, you bought a domain, but you never move forward with taking the next step, or you actually open up the business, but you have no clients, it's not going to be perfect the first time. Just understand that. But as you start, you get to refine it. You get to really master it. You get to make it excellent. There's a particular device that we all use. I'm not going to name the company because they're not sponsoring Biz Talks, but it's named after an app. It's named after a fruit. And they release a product almost every couple of months, and you know it's not perfect. You know there are going to be bugs. You know there are going to be fixes. You know that it is not their perfect product, but you still buy it. Mm-hmm. And guess what? You're still okay when you get the updates because you trust that they did it at the base level with some sort of integrity and some great things that it can do for you. So if a multi-million-dollar company can launch every couple of months, what are we waiting on? So for every business owner that has a product that you haven't launched yet, start. Do it as a small test market. Just start with something. Let the audience, let the customers, let the community tell you what they want. When you put it out the first time, they'll tell you what they like, what they don't like, and that's how you're able to build a strong connection with your clientele. Give the people what they want, not what you think they need.
This is a message that has been sent from God, because it's something that I really struggle with so much, trying to be a perfectionist. For a long time in corporate America where everything had to be perfect all the time. Your documents had to be perfect before it went out to the client. What you're saying to them has to be perfect, or else you're in a potential liability. But transitioning into an entrepreneur, I had to learn, and I'm still, wrestling with it a little bit. But I don't have to be perfect, right? I absolutely don't have to be perfect. I'm knowledgeable enough to create, and I should be able to take the feedback that's coming in and be able to continue to work and develop. My husband always says, it does not have to be perfect. And I'm like, no, it needs to be perfect. And he's like, get it out all the time. And I'm just like, something that it's a struggle for me, but perfection is not the name of the game for the entrepreneur. Nope. Absolutely not. So that's so important that you said that.
But here's the truth, Jodia. While you're busy perfecting, somebody else is executing.
Yes. And that's
so if you think
entrepreneurs, they're doers.
That's right. And so you can't be paralyzed by this need for perfection if you don't get to execution. That's why one of the courses we have in Destiny Designers University, we just did a relaunch. That was part of our pivot when we're adding in the classes. The name of the course, it's Now or Never, Your Dreams Can't Wait. Moving from the valley of procrastination to the mountaintop of completion. It's time, but there's a process. And I realized that that was something that I needed to share in our curriculum, is what is that process? How do you get there? And it's our 3D process of discovery, discipline development, and deliverance. And that process will get you from that being stuck and being paralyzed by perfection and actually moving to completion. Once you celebrate that first check mark in getting it done, your adrenaline, your endorphins are on such a high, you will be moving down with the consistent action that's going to get you the maximum results. And that's ultimately what every entrepreneur wants, but you have to start. and you have to refine and you have to continue. So we can't rest on our laurels and think, okay, we had one good win and that's it. No, you have to keep on going to compete in the marketplace, continue to add value, and your clientele and your customers become loyal tribes.
Mm-hmm. So from our conversation, I heard a couple of times that there's this big project out there. I don't know, 10 million, $15 million or so. Can you let the people know about this project and how I can be a part of it, how others can be a part of it?
Absolutely. I'm so proud that as a community in Southeast Queens, there is an opportunity for business owners, entrepreneurs to take advantage of. Now we're past 13 billion. I think we're closer to 20 billion with the addition of a new portion of the airlines being expanded at JFK Airport. So let me tell you the website first, anewjfk.com, JFK.com. You can see all the information about this project that is happening because of the amount of money that Governor Cuomo is putting into infrastructure projects all across New York. This is just one of them. So if you're in the Southeast Queens area and you're in business or thinking about a business, there is time within the 5 to 6 year, maybe extended now because of COVID, project timeline for this redevelopment for professional services that you can offer and be hired to participate in the billions of dollars that are being shared. Now, granted, the majority will go to design and build, but I think we're all right with 1% of $1 billion. How about that? But you can only compete. You can only compete for these dollars if you're certified as a minority women-owned business enterprise. I didn't say you only, that's one of the advantages because the governor has set a threshold of utilizing minority women-owned businesses here in New York. So the certification process, it's going through your paperwork, what I said before about having your house in order, but you have support. At the office, there is a center right on Jamaica Avenue that due to COVID, it's not open the same way, but they're still open to do business. So you can send an email over to JFK Redevelopment at panj.gov. I'll have to look it up again because when you put it in automatically, but if you go to anewjfk.com, that's the best way to email the team and you can get the resources by Quentin Bailey, who's just absolutely incredible in helping to support businesses on how to complete the application, what you need for the application, and seeing you through the process of getting certified. Don't let it intimidate you. It's all helping you because as you're going through the process, you can really look at your own numbers, really understand how you're growing as a business. You need to be in business at least a year in order to apply for certification. And within this project timeline, even if you started today and say, I don't have a business, but I'm starting a business, you would still be qualified in enough time to compete for some of the resources. And there's layers to it. So there's direct access to be on a contract with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, or with one of the terminal developers, or one of the prime organizations that gets a contract. They could hire you as a sub to one of the contracts. Now, for those of you listening, like, what's prime, what's sub? I don't even get all of this. It's really simple. Do you have an answer to the challenges and to the execution of this project? It could be maybe your business handles some sort of inventory that's needed at the airport. Maybe there's a professional service that is required for interaction with the businesses on this project. You could put yourself in a position to be able to get a lucrative contract as a result of becoming certified. So all the information is on anewjfk.com. We do have community meetings that are open to the public. You gotta love technology. You just gotta love it.
No, it's fine. Listen, I do this all day long on Tuesdays, and every day there's like another issue. It's always like, do you have your chargers ready? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it out. This is the time where it's okay to make mistakes because we're all virtual.
Exactly. And I appreciate your graciousness and appreciate the audience patience, but the show must go on.
It must go on. So I love like some of the things that you were talking about. I think one question, and it's lovely to hear from female entrepreneurs. And I think it's really important when we're supporting each other. So I just wanted you to just share a little bit about that, the connection between women and women that are actually CEOs and founders.
Absolutely. I believe that Beyonce's song is true. Who runs the world? Girls. Like, if they would just let us run things, we wouldn't have as many problems. And we can't wait for a seat at the table. We have to just take it. And once we're there, it's not just the collaboration, which I believe is just so important. And I love collaborating and working with those who are just brilliant. I say all the time, I love collecting Black Girl Magic. It's just awesome. And I'm in awe of people that operate in their gift. But when you take collaboration to the next level, what it looks like is bringing somebody else to the table. Because sometimes that's what's needed. We started talking about relationships earlier and how important it is, not necessarily what you know, but who you know. But not everybody has learned the art of bringing somebody else to the table. It doesn't negate your value and what you can do. It actually makes you stronger when you can bring some other powerhouses to the table and not hide them away because you're afraid they're going to take your position or get your contract. What's for you is for you. And if you operate in that space of knowing that who you are, what you are, it can't be denied. Right? Your anointing is only going to look good on you. My anointing won't look good on you, but yours will slay all day. So if you walk in that anointing and you bring somebody else that has some skills and some talents, some offerings, some products, some services to the table, mention their name, you never know how the extra blessings fall on you just because you opened your mouth to actually speak somebody's name when they weren't even in the room to hear it. That's where you take collaboration to another level. That's what having your sister's back looks like, because men do it all day. When you talk about the, old boys club and how men work together and bring other men to the table, we should be doing that as well. When you see another sister that's shining, shine the light on her. If the crown is a little crooked, then straighten it on the back end. You don't have to expose it to the world. And then together you march in bold and strong on how we take over the world.
Amen to that. I mean, I think it's so important for women to support each other. We're always frowned upon. It seems as if like we're always fighting each other. But when we can uplift each other, pull each other up, I mean, everything is magnified so many more times. So I'm so happy that you said that. And you are a sister that, you live it, you breathe it, you sleep it. And it's amazing to be able to connect with women like you. So thank you so much for joining us today. Please let the people know, and I know that they'll be searching for you. What platforms are you parking on?
Well, thank you. Before I get to that, Jodia, I love you more than words can say. You are a true class act. I'm so happy to see Biz Talks giving content and support during this COVID-19 time. Thank you for taking the leadership, as you always do, to offer so much. So I just want to publicly celebrate you. I don't shy away from doing it. You're bad to the bone, girl. Just keep it going. And I'm just
so much
honored to be able to support you. And yes, connect with me, please. So here's one thing I'll do. I'll give all the Biz Talk followers a free gift. If you go to actionactionbook.com, you can download the first chapter of my book for free. And it's something that I think will help you in these COVID times. It's called Action, Despite the Distraction. 7 life lessons on how to thrive and live your destiny now. Now more than ever, I didn't know how timely it was when God gave me that book, but it can encourage you. You can get that first chapter for free. My social media handles are on that page as well for Destiny Design U. That's how you find Destiny Designers University. And for me personally on Facebook, it's DrStacie and only Jodia knows what the NC stands for, Grant. So that's Dr. Stacie NC Grant on Facebook. And on Instagram and Twitter, it's just Stacie NC Grant, STACIE NC Grant. Don't put a Y in my name because I might black out. Pray for me.
Action, action. The title says enough. Make sure you're going out there, you're taking action, you're making sure that you're going after everything. As a scholar, which I really don't think I'm a scholar anymore because I can't remember anything in last 5 to 6 years, one of my favorite saying is carpe diem, seize the day. And thank you so much, Dr. Stacie NC Grant, for joining us today on Biz Talks with Jodia Vanel. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.